Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Let us know in the chat when you can see and hear us, or send us a thumbs up or a heart or confetti, a reaction, anything so we know you can see us and hear us fine. Hi, Sabrina. How are you today?
I'm so happy to be here and tell you about my beloved Dominican Republic. Really excited and really happy to connect with you all.
We are so excited to have you and so excited to learn about the Dominican Republic. Already with the background on your screen, I can already tell it's such a beautiful place, so I can't wait to learn more about it.
How, Monse, I was born not far away from this street.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my God. So it's gonna be a special presentation for you.
really, really special. Really like delighted to tell everyone about the Dominican and beyond the beautiful hotels and beautiful beaches.
Perfect. And I see in the chat we have Charlene join us. Hello, good morning, Charlene. Sharon from Scotland, Veronica. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Let us know in the chat if you have any questions during the presentation. Sabrina is going to be talking for an hour about the gorgeous Dominican Republic. Also, the Dominican Republic is one of the sponsors for the Peaks Performance Awards in May in London. So make sure to log all your bookings and you might find yourself invited as the DOTR guest in May. And let us know in the chat if you have any questions regarding Peaks, regarding the presentation, and we will cover them at the end. Pay close attention because we're going to have a trivia question at the end, and the first person to answer correctly in the chat is going to get 10 extra entries to the prize draw today. So without further ado, Sabrina, thank you so much for being here, and the stage is yours to talk about the DR.
Brilliant. Well, good morning again to those who joined recently. And as I said earlier, I'm so excited to tell you more about the Dominican Republic. I know some of you won't have like the whole hour to stay with us. So if you have any questions in between or, just feel free to ask. I also have like a little request. If any of you have already been to the Dominican Republic, maybe if you can write it on the chat and let me know where you have stayed and like one beautiful thing that you remember about your stay in the Dominican. I'd be really delighted to read that. And I'm going to start sharing my screen now. And hopefully this will run really smoothly and I will be able to tell you more about the Dominican. Beautiful Dominican Republic.
Perfect. We can see your
So yeah, and don't forget, if you have been to the Dominican, please let me know in the comments and let me know what you particularly loved about it.
Perfect.
So
you can see it. Perfect.
This is the first image that comes to my mind when I think of the Dominican Republic. Is this beautiful clear seas and palm trees, beautiful skies. But the Dominican is so much more to that, and I'll show you in a bit. We have this slogan that says, has it all. And the Dominican is really a mini continent, from the first city founded by the Europeans in the Americas, the most diverse country, the highest mountain, the lowest point, it's a saltwater lake below sea level, the Samana Peninsula, gastronomy. We are home to merengue and bachata. So if any of you has ever been a Zumba, I'm sure you would have danced to the rhythms of merengue and bachata. You see the dancers here at the top of the screen in their colorful outfits. Great golf, gastronomy, but we don't have snow and cold. We do have a bit of cold, but only in the mountains. So I will show you a little bit quick overview in this little video. And here you can see that beyond the beach, we have these beautiful other areas, mountains, lakes, adventure, soft adventure, relaxation. whitewater rafting, all these different areas in the Dominican Republic that I will be telling you a little bit more about in a moment. In terms of entry requirements, I would like to stress about the e-ticket. So the e-ticket, it's a form that you complete. Some of you, if you had been in the past, you may remember it used to be like a little physical form. And it has become just an online form that everyone needs to complete, including Dominican nationals, on arrival and also on departure. The passport validity, back to the e-ticket, there are many scammy websites. It's a similar thing to what happens with other countries that have free forms to enter that someone wants to make money out of it. So if you see this website here, eticketmigracion.gov.do, that's the real one, the only one, and it's free. The 6-month validity, usually at the moment, for example, there's an exception to that. And that exception has been in place for years. So it's usually renewed once a year, but the law requirement is 6 months. However, please do remember that most of the time it's waived because sometimes people panic. Oh, I've got 5 months. They're usually fine to travel. Just double check that the exception is in place. Anyone that resides in the UK and the US, Ireland, and in any of these countries like Canada, every EU country can come to the Dominican Republic just the same as the residents of those countries. In terms of the best currency to take, credit cards are widely accepted. I usually take very little cash, just in case for tips and things like that. But usually one gets better value for money with US dollars. I also sometimes take euros, and they're really easy to exchange as well. The flat plug pin, and to remember not to drink tap water in the Dominican. And driving, it's as in Europe, so it's not like here in the UK, other side of the road. I'm sure you all know where we are. So we're here in the heart of the Caribbean, near Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Cayman Islands. So that's us there. We are the second largest country in the Caribbean and by far the most diverse. Air connectivity, we have 8 international airports. You can see them showing here. We also have one down here, by the way, that it's somehow not highlighted on the map. But from the UK, we have year-round flights to Santo Domingo Airport and to Punta Cana Airport in the Altagracia province. At the moment, we've had as well flights to La Romana that have tied up with a 2-week cruise at home ports there. But here you see Samaná, Puerto Plata, and Santiago as well. By sea, those are the 7 cruise ports, but we also have ports in Samaná and some, I can't remember what it's called in English. Some of you may be able to remind me when you move to a smaller boat and then to land, that sometimes operate in Puerto Plata and in a little island here in Catalina Island. So some of you may have been to one of those, hence I'm mentioning that. So we have a brilliant road infrastructure in the Dominican, all major car rental companies. We are also quite crazy drivers in the Dominican. So when people ask me, shall I rent a car? I would not say no, because once I did, and the person rented a car and then wrote a letter to me and said, I went and I drove around and it was perfectly fine. It depends on how you are and your experience as a driver. But we have really great road infrastructure in the Dominican. You see some of the main roads here on this map. In terms of, so we are known as for all our beautiful, fantastic value for money, beautiful beaches. But there's a lot more to that. Wonderful gastronomy. This gemstone you see here in blue, it's called larimar, and it's a semi-precious stone that only exists in the Dominican Republic. It looks a bit like a turquoise. Very beautiful. It's called larimar. We are chosen as a place for weddings and celebration of wedding vows and for honeymoons as well. So many couples enjoy the beautiful settings of the Dominican, not always by the beach, sometimes as well in mountains. We host many international meetings and incentive groups in the Dominican throughout. We have what is called like some people call the Maui of the Caribbean in the north. It's called Cabarete, and it hosts at least two international championships throughout the year. And the golf. I think I can confidently say that we are the golf capital of the Caribbean, but I'll be telling you a little bit more about that in a moment. So in terms of offers, I'm sure all of you know about our fabulous all-inclusives, but we also have great city hotels in Santo Domingo and Santiago, and even in Punta Cana, there are great business hotels. So if anyone is there on business, which it does happen, by the way, great business hotels as well. Eco-friendly hotels, eco lodges dotted along the island, different places, and beautiful villas, like breathtaking, beautiful villas in different places in the Dominican as well. So to be taken into account, the villa offer. And I'm sure you're all aware of our travel agents reward program. So we call it the DO Travel Rewards. I hope that all of you have signed up, but it's a program that we have devised to acknowledge and all of your efforts in booking your clients to the Dominican Republic, and also for you to learn more about the Dominican, about the experience and what is there to see and do in the Dominican, and of course, get your hard-earned rewards. If you have joined, you may be aware of the benefits. Otherwise, if you haven't, please do. I'm highlighting some of the benefits here. Destinations, news, networking. We also do raffles where you earn stays in the Dominican, webinars, and your cash rewards as well. So I have here like some details. You need to register your bookings, and it's usually £1 per night from 5 nights onwards, but we also do have seasonal promotions, so you need to watch out for that. And the referral program, which is always it's always valid. It's £5 for those of you in the UK for that referral program, or euros or US dollars, depending on where you're based. Plus, of course, the networking opportunities and the raffles that I mentioned earlier, with opportunities to join us as well on fam trips. That's it's really easy, very straightforward. I have the QR code here. If you haven't joined, please join. It's really easy. You can just scan that QR code, register your bookings, and then you'll be part of the community. We are really committed to making like memorable experiences for all of our members, and to celebrate your efforts. And I hope to celebrate with you at the Peak Awards. I think Monse mentioned them earlier, but I hope we'll be able to celebrate together. I mentioned the seasonal promotions earlier. So just as I said, it's really a world full of benefits. We already have way more than 20,000 members and way more than 50,000 bookings. So like I updated this in December, but so much has happened since. It's February already. Thank you so much for those of you who have signed up and registered. And those of you who haven't, you have the QR code there. Please join us. I'm back to the Dominican Republic to tell you more about the different areas in the Dominican. And you see that orange highlighting the Punta Cana area, an absolute jewel. I hope you have been and have seen, but just to tell you a bit more about it here. Punta Cana Airport, we have that possibility of disembarking from cruises in Punta Cana as well. Fabulous meetings and conventions facilities in different hotels for different capacity, obviously. Over 51,000 hotel rooms in that area. I'm not including La Romana at the moment. I'm not including Niches in this as well. More than 160 hospitality establishments, all different kinds of resorts to cater for different tastes and budget. So apart from the sun and beach, we also have like nature, great opportunities for like romance, adventure, soft adventure, gastronomic tourism, religious tourism, MICE, sports, nautic, like marine as well. All these beautiful beaches. These are some of the beaches along that area. So Macao, Cortecito, Arena Gorda, Juanillo, Bávaro, Punta Perla, Ubero Alto, Playa Blanca, Bibijagua, Cabeza de Toro. Nature, I'm going to say something personal here. I once went to Punta Cana and I didn't once go to the beach, and I spent like 5 days there. And I visited some of these places, I think most of them, indigenous eyes. I saw the works of the Punta Cana Foundation there. Also the National Park, Cotuguanamá, the cenotes, the freshwater water holes, absolutely stunning. I would definitely recommend next time you're there to try those out. Beautiful, unforgettable experience. And romance, which I mentioned earlier. We host many beautiful weddings and beautiful honeymoons, renewal of wedding vows. Sports tourism. So if you want to relax and do nothing, just read a book by the beach, you can. But if you want to be active and be doing things all the time, the opportunities there in terms of sports tourism. I mentioned the golf, but there's also surfing, paddle boarding, fishing, diving, adventure and soft adventure. So kayaking, buggies, four-wheel driving, zip lines, some super exhilarating zip lines, balloon rides, helicopter rides. If you like the night and you like dancing, or even if you don't like, I would recommend to try Cocobongo or the other parks. Cultural, we have like trails. There's the Basilica in Higüey, which you can visit, the coffee trail and the cacao trail. It's something that I really love. Both of those elements were part of what the original inhabitants of the islands used to do. That has been passed on. It's part of our culture and has traveled the world, because who doesn't know coffee and chocolate? Punta Cana, by far the most popular destination in the Dominican, with the Punta Cana airport, which is our busiest airport. It has like 160 kilometers of some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. You see that one there is Juanillo Beach. So that's outside the Hyatt Ziva Silara, near Eden Rock, the Secrets Capcana, the Capcana hotels. That 10 golf courses in the Punta Cana area, some championship golf courses. You see one of them there. You can connect with nature. So that's one of the cenotes that I mentioned earlier, in Indigenous Eyes Nature Reserve. Great spas, Six Senses Spa, many other brands, beautiful, so great for relaxation. I'll show you a little video of Punta Cana that I think will explain much better than me. Apologies for that. I know it's good. I was going to send myself hearts with that video. Like, really love whatnot, and I think you would agree with me that it explains it better than me what Punta Cana is all about. So not far from Punta Cana, we have La Romana, little gem. It's if you imagine Punta Cana was here, this is La Romana, 45 minutes away. And it also has it's an international airport. I mentioned that it has flights from the UK over winter. It will have next winter as well. One cruise port, the La Romana cruise port, great meetings and convention facilities. Around under 2,000 hotel rooms, more than 30 hotels and other establishments, luxury hotels. It's home to Casa de Campo. I don't know if any of you have been there. It's absolutely beautiful. It's like a world of its own. Very, very beautiful. Great experiences like the caves, the Cuevas de las Maravillas, Chavon River that has been used as a backdrop for films on many different occasions. The church in Altos de Chavon, Saona Island, Catalina Island, all the beautiful beaches, Dominicas, Valladolid, Playa Laguna. Also nature tourism because it sits right next to the Cotubanamá National Park, which we call Parque Nacional del Este in Spanish. Spanish is our official language. English, it's widely spoken, and particularly in resort areas. You'll never have issues communicating. Also, golf, kayaking, diving, similar things are like common to the different areas. You see here, some of you may have been to this beach bar outside Iberostar in Valladolid, really beautiful. And the little rocky area, great for for the children to see some marine life. And then the rest of the beach, you see that beautiful white beach. Altos de Chabón, it's part of the Casa de Campo complex. Beautiful. So it's made as it was made built around 50 years ago, and it was meant to be to house an art school, a Parsons art school. But it also has galleries, museums, restaurants, and it looks like Volterra or San Gimignano. It looks like you're in a Tuscan village. Very, very, very beautiful. And it's at the top of the mountain next to Chavon River that you see there on the side. And it has this wonderful amphitheater. So it hosts every year award-winning artists. It was launched with Frank Sinatra. So I'm sure if you look up, you'll find a video of Frank Sinatra singing in Altos de Chavon. And you see there, as I explained, this is the golf course, the Chavon River, that's the village, and the amphitheater. There are places to stay there as well. This is the Valladolid area seen from a different angle. So I don't know if you have been to Valladolid. This would be like the Hilton La Romana Hotel, and this is the place from where boats leave to Saona Island, and then this other the Viva hotels, and then the rest of the hotels. I have to mention this beautiful rose called Rosa de Valladolid, the Rose of Valladolid. Is actually our national flower, and it only exists in the Dominican Republic. I don't think I have it on this presentation, but we are also our national bird for those, because we're great for bird watching as well. It's called the palm chat, and it's unique in its genus and only exists in the Dominican Republic. This is Saona Island. So if you have been to Valladolid or Punta Cana and have been to La Romana, you would know the natural pool, this place where you can get off the boat and enjoy a drink in this shallow area. We have great cigar tours. I don't know if you enjoy cigars. I enjoy a cigar every now and then. It's very relaxing. La Romana has the largest cigar factory in the world, which it's an experience to visit. I would recommend it. Another angle of Altos de Chavon here, you can see it's absolutely stunning. Great for weddings, for pictures. It's fabulous. You can see more about it here. Have any of you been to La Romana or to Valladolid, to Altos de Chabón or to Saona Island? Please let me know in the comments. And I am now moving to Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo is where I was born and raised. I will show you a bit more about it. It was the first city founded by the Europeans in the Americas. So we are home to the first university, the first hospital, the first cathedral in the Americas. It was the first city founded by Europeans in the Americas. It's very beautiful, and it also has a cruise port, great meetings and conventions facilities. It has the Santo Domingo Airport and La Isabela Airport that are both international airports. Around 8,000 hotel rooms by all the major brands. So Hyatt, Marriott, Holiday Inn, many others, just to mention a few. It also has this wonderful botanical garden where you can go exercise or you can go bird watching if you go early morning. It has La Caleta Submarine Park, great for diving. Also, like this here, it's called Los Tres Ojos, and it's 3 cenotes, very close to Santo Domingo as well. In one of them, you're allowed to swim. And the old city of Santo Domingo, which we Dominicans call La Zona, but it's actually the colonial quarter. It's first city founded by the Europeans in the Americas. And you see it here. Great museums, so much culture, national galleries, great nightlife. So if you like bar hopping or just walking around a beautiful place, it's very, very walkable. Around, I think it's like less than a square mile. If you like walking, very beautiful. You see a bit of it there. And this is another angle of the picture that I have on my background that I was telling Monse in the beginning that I was born not far away from there. That's the Columbus house. It's actually the house of the son of Christopher Columbus. The whole old city was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1990. So as I mentioned earlier, the first city founded by the Europeans in the Americas. We have many times been filmed as Havana by Hollywood Productions. I think nowadays we're more filmed as Santo Domingo in our own right. That's the first cathedral founded by Europeans in the Americas. A bit of the old city. This bike city tour is really beautiful, but if you don't like cycling, the little train as well is a great option, or just walking around. And you have some images of Santo Domingo there, great gastronomy, the Seaside Avenue up here, the lighthouse, which houses a museum. These dancers that you see here, and you saw in some of my other pictures earlier, this is part of a program that it's by the Ministry of Tourism, where we have cultural activities that are free certain times of the year at the weekends. And you have these performers and music and dance and concerts. Modern Santo Domingo, you see here, Modern Santo Domingo. And this park that you see here is where I go exercise when I'm there. It's called Parque Mirador, not far from where my mother lives. Columbus House again here, seen at night. Let me show you. Just a second.
Yeah.
A bit more of Santo Domingo here. You see the performers that I mentioned. So you saw me getting there excited and emotional about Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo, it's only like 1.5 hours away from Punta Cana. I would recommend to visit, and if you can, to stay for at least one night. And especially if you can stay in the old cities, there's some beautiful historic hotels there. It's so charming. I always love going back there. And now I will be telling you a little bit more about Samaná. It's this peninsula here in the north, in this area, where you see the orange sign. When I was a child, I used to ask my dad if I could keep Samaná to myself. It's an absolute gem, and I'll show you a little bit more about it. Samaná, it's very rainforesty. It gets it gets more rain than Punta Cana. It definitely does, but that makes for more beautiful skies. It makes it very cozy. It's always warm as well and beautiful. It has an airport, great accommodation, villas, hotels. It's home to Cayo Levantado Hotel, which is on a little island that used to house an English pirate called Bannister, and he called it Bannister Key back to himself. Nowadays we call it Cayo Levantado. You see some of the beaches here, like Frontón Beach, Portillo Beach, El Valle, Las Galeras, Las Terrenas, which we tend to call the general area. But we also have Los Haitises National Park, absolutely stunning, great opportunities for sport tourism. And Samaná is the area where the humpbacks can be seen during the winter months. That's January, February, and March. There are points from where you can see them from land as well. And the jet is to depart and ports to Cayo Levantado. I'll show you in a moment. So I mentioned the whales. They're so beautiful, and for thousands of years, they've been North Atlantic humpbacks have been choosing our waters to mate and also to deliver their calves. The mainland, it's absolutely stunning with mountains, waterfalls like Limon Waterfall, and great activities. Again, if you want to relax and do nothing, you can. But if you want to go and be active, you can. You have this view here that once someone told me, oh, but this is Halong Bay. I said, no, that's Los Haitises National Park. And you can, the way there is this beautiful mangrove way, and then you end up in that beautiful place. It's also home to the humpbacks, as I mentioned earlier, January, February, March. So if you have clients that want to go there when the humpbacks are there, that's the time. There are excursions, even from Punta Cana, to go and see the humpbacks. So it's absolutely doable. And that's something that I've been asked on occasions. Cayo Levantado, it's home to Cayo Levantado Hotel, part of the Bahia Principe brand. Absolutely beautiful. That's what it looks like. I would say, if anything, it doesn't do it complete justice. So stunning. And you can see some of the other beaches here around Samaná. So you saw the shape of the peninsula, and these beaches are dotted along the different sides. But I'll show you a little video in a moment as well. The Limon Waterfall, this is a hike. You need to hike to get there. There's different levels of, so you can choose if you want to do a more difficult hike or more like an easier one. The choice is yours, but I would recommend to visit Las Terrenas. Great things to see and do at night as well. So if you want to go and dance, there's clubs and bars, great gastronomy, great dining. So if any kind of restaurant, if you want a Dominican restaurant or international cuisine, and if you want to try Dominican sweets, you'll see this being sold around the different areas. And I will show you now a little video. Just a second, let me go back because I think I can show it on full screen. Okay, let's try. Yeah, there it is. So that's Samaná. It has been many times been used as a film set as well, Samana. Many Hollywood productions have filmed in Samana. The treehouse village. So if you would like to sleep in a treehouse, you have the choice. If you're into extreme sports, you saw there like climbing. Really beautiful. I always love to go back to Samana every time I go to the Dominican Republic. Puerto Plata. So Puerto Plata is another favorite of mine, I have to say. And you'll be seeing a bit in a moment. It was actually the first resort that was sold in the UK from the Dominican Republic back in the day by the companies that were then part of what is now TUI and what was Thomas Cook back in the day as well. Puerto Plata, it's a little gem. It has become increasingly more beautiful over time. It has its own airport, fabulous accommodation, beautiful beaches as well, and beautiful bays, including like a natural bay, Luperon, where yachts shelter when they need to. Great cultural activities, museums, the cigar factories, rum factories, amber. So we are one of the places in the world where amber mines are found, where amber is found. The only cable car in the Caribbean that goes up a national park called Isabel de Torres. You'll see it in a moment. The Damajagua Falls, one of the most exhilarating things I've done in my life, but also the like beautiful city of Puerto Plata that it's great to walk around with the Pink Street, Independence Park, with the fort, beautiful things to see and do, and some of the experiences. I mentioned the Damajagua Falls, which is canyoning. Actually, you slide down this canyon. You can hike up and then slide down if you want, but if you don't want to do part of it, or if you want to drive to the top, there's different options. Isabel de Torres as well, that I mentioned earlier. Great zipline adventures, glamping, boat rides, you name it. It's full of, if you want to relax and do nothing, you can. If you want to be active and be doing things all day, you can. Puerto Plata is also near Cabarete, that place that I mentioned for windsurfing and kite surfing. Absolutely beautiful. So definitely more than a beach destination, as I mentioned before. And that's a cable car. It has this Christ Redeemer at the top. That looks like the one in Rio, but that's ours there. Definitely a world reference in sports, hosting 2 international championships. If you see any program that mentions kite surfing and windsurfing, features Cabarete. And at night, it's like that. It's very groovy, full of nice little bars and restaurants. The Damajagua waterfalls. When I did that, I couldn't sleep the night. I was like, oh my God, that was so beautiful. I loved it. So beautiful. Cayo Arena is this sandbank that you can visit from there as well. You can snorkel all around it and enjoy a little drink in one of these huts, and then catch your boat back to the mainland. I'll show you the video, what it all looks like. And just a moment, let me see if I can play that it plays in the whole screen. You see the variety of accommodations, the ports, including Amber Cove and Taino Bay, the National Park, cable car. as I mentioned, if you want to relax and do nothing, you can, but if you want to be active, you can as well. And one thing that I have to, you'll see in a moment as well, but Puerto Plata, it's also like the closest area to some of our most luxurious properties in the Dominican, like Amanera, and Ani private resort, also the Punta Cana, sorry, the Playa Grande beach club. You'll see them in a moment. I have to mention our people because, like, I know many countries say the same, but Dominicans are really friendly and hospitable. Like, I have found myself in the Dominican sometimes trying to find directions, or in a bus where I needed to catch another bus and my battery in my phone was out. And I always found everywhere warm people, warm smiles, people willing to help me. Definitely our main asset is our people. We are definitely a place where luxury meets authenticity. So apart from the great value hotels, we also have this luxury tourism in the Dominican Republic. I have mentioned yacht experiences, golf courses, fine dining, luxury cruises, and beautiful spas like the Six Senses Spa in Punta Cana and Eden Rock, and the spa at Casa de Campo. We are also members of Virtuoso and Serendipians. I mentioned Amanera. So if you saw Puerto Plata, that's Amanera here in Rio San Juan, and absolutely stunning. It's next to Playa Grande Beach Club. Let's see if I show you this little video. So you can see what it looks like, and Playa Grande next to it, and that's an overview of the property. Absolutely stunning. It's a little paradise, and with great facilities and great things to see and do. And also Casa de Campo that I mentioned earlier in terms of luxury. So Casa de Campo, it's a villa complex. It's a little like a little Beverly Hills, but it has a community of people that live there, and many villas that are rented, great golf, championship golf courses by Pete Dye and redesigned by his son, by PB Dye as well. Affiliations with Virtuoso, with also like great golf resorts of the world, Ayacto, Four Diamond Hotels. I won't show you the video because I think that I'm running out of time, but it's so beautiful. I think if you look at their website, it gives a quick overview of what it looks like. And I have many fond memories of Casa de Campo growing up, because a close acquaintance had a house there. So beautiful, and I would recommend a visit if you can. Tortuga Bay, an absolute gem. It's close to the Indigenous Ice Reserve. Tortuga Bay are all part of the Punta Cana resort, and they own the airport as well. Beautiful Oscar de la Renta design villas. Oscar de la Renta was actually Dominican. Many people are not aware of that. He used to speak about the islands, but his reference was the Dominican. And these villas are designed kind of like with the thought in mind of Dominican houses. So I don't know, at least for people of my generation, I should say. Very, very beautiful. And they're like 13 Oscar de la Renta design villas. And they're next to this Six Senses Spa. You see a little bit of them there. They're next to championship golf courses designed by Tom Fazio and PV Dye, and they're next to this Six Senses Spa that I mentioned earlier, and to the Indigenous Ice Reserve. Eden Rock Cap Cana, I'm sure many of you have heard of it. Another little gem in the Dominican, absolutely stunning. I'm a little bit worried about the time, but just to show you quickly what it looks like. Very, very beautiful, exquisite service. This is a Relais Chateau property. I think it's the only Relais Chateau property in the area. Absolutely stunning. It has different accommodations, as well as you see there the little villas, the like also the apartments, exquisite service, so beautiful. You see a bit of it there. Casa Colonial, it's a luxury hotel in Puerto Plata. It's really like colonial chic. I'll show you quickly what it looks like. I think it's important to show these things because many people that know that we have this very luxury angle to us, no, but some people are not aware of it. So you see a little bit here along all the different areas in the Dominican. So not exclusively in one area, but in different areas. Annie Private Resort. So I don't know if you watched Shotgun Wedding, but it was filmed there. And it's so beautiful. This is an ultra luxury property. They usually do an interview with you in the beginning to know you, and everyone traveling with you to know exactly how you like your coffee in the morning, your preferred wine. So these super luxurious accommodations. It's not far away from the Amanera Resort, but you see there, and this is just for one group. Okay, so it cannot be booked for separate groups. It needs to be booked the whole resort. And these are other high-end accommodations, like Casas del 16th century houses in Santo Domingo, Kim's and Las Mercedes, Cayo Levantado that I mentioned earlier, Secret Style, the Playa Grande Beach Club, Club Med, Playa Esmeralda, Ocean Club, and the Hyatt, Ziva, and Zilara. We have, every time I wake up, I find a new, more exciting project in the Dominican. So these are just some of them. We are soon having the only W all-inclusive hotel. It will be in Overo Alto next month, and Semi Beaches as well, opening very soon. And we will San Regis Capcana, but we have all these other high-end projects that have opened recently. Punta Bergantin, watch this space. It's in Puerto Plata, but that's up and coming. And some of the recent openings there. We're also due to have a Rosewood in 2029 in the Punta Cana area, just to mention a few. And thank you so much for joining me today and for listening to me. I am very grateful. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and that it would plant in you a little bit of this love that I have for the Dominican Republic. And don't forget to join our Travel Agents Reward Program if you haven't already.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. This was such a beautiful presentation. I may be a little bit biased because I'm also Dominican, but it's so beautiful to see all of the cities that the island has. And just, even though it's a small country, there's so many places to see and visit and so many different offers in terms of activities and landscapes. It really has it all, like they say. The Dominican Republic has it all. We have a question in the chat from Lisa, and she asked, how far is Punta Cana from Puerto Plata? She is booked to go to Punta Cana in October.
So Punta Cana is actually quite far from Puerto Plata. And one needs to go to either near Santo Domingo and then drive up to Samaná and then Puerto Plata. It would take like at least 7 hours driving. So I would recommend to either fly or break up the stay. So an ideal thing would be, for example, Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, one night, and then go to Puerto Plata, and then do perhaps one night in Samaná, and then drive down back to Punta Cana. Some people don't mind driving long, and it's doable, but it is far to combine those two in one day.
Thank you. Lisa said she's going to book one more holiday to go back to the Dominican and visit other cities.
Yes, I think that, it's many times people tell me I didn't leave the hotel, and I'm like, shall I tell them how much they missed out Or shall I not? Shall I just leave them like that?
It really is. Getting out of the hotel is essential to see all of the things that the cities have to offer and meeting the people, interacting with the people. In fact, in the chat, one of our agents, Nesby, had said that one of her favorite memories from the Dominican Republic is meeting the lovely locals and dancing bachata. So can't miss that.
That's really lovely. Look, I'm like, I'm getting emotional hearing that. So like, yeah, I know how you feel. It's really great.
Um,
Yeah, you are a DR expert, Nisbet. I can tell by you having said that.
She is the DR expert. But let's actually test the theory because now we have the trivia from Sabrina's presentation. So Sabrina's going to ask us one question about what she spoke about today. And the first person to answer correctly in the chat is going to get 10 extra entries for a prize draw of the day. So Sabrina, what is your question today for agents?
Do you remember what is required when you go to the Dominican Republic? I said there's this thing that one needs to complete.
Oh, okay, we're already getting the answers. Sarah sent the first answer and she said e-visa.
Yeah, the e-ticket. Yeah, I think that's, like, yes, I think
That's
that's a
not a
good
good way to
answer.
put
It
it.
would be good for me, yeah. It's not really a visa because people don't need a visa, but it's the e-ticket. Yeah.
Exactly. So people don't need a visa to enter the Dominican, but they need to fill out an e-ticket to enter.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, if there's any more questions for Sabrina, you can put them in the chat now. If we don't have any questions, I just want to thank Sabrina once again for the wonderful presentation and to thank everybody for joining today. And hopefully we get to see you at Peaks. So remember to log your DOTR bookings because only the top agents are going to get invited to Peaks. And it's going to be a night full of entertainment, food, drinks. Sabrina's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be an amazing time.
I will be there with a touch of red, right? With
A touch of red.
yes.
Our theme is a touch of red, so make sure you're also planning your outfits accordingly.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great. I'm excited, and I hope to see you soon at Peaks, and hope you get to visit the Dominican very soon.
Thank you, Sabrina. And thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.